This is Paul. Yeah, Fifth and 14th Amendment. There's a due process clause there. Yeah, it deals with the administration of justice, and thus the due process clause acts as a safeguard. Yes, from the arbitrary denial of life, liberty, or property by the government outside the sanction of law. Now, it might not seem important to you. Yes, procedural due process, substantive due process, and the prohibition against vague laws. And as the vehicle for the incorporation of the Bill of Rights. Now, it is a violation of due process, yes, to hear the motion for default dissolution of marriage on the 27th of August of 2012. Now you have every justification for why you need to remove, yes, the dissolution of marriage. Now, since you cannot motion the court for default dissolution of marriage because the sheriff's department has proof that I paid to have the petitioner served, and I did it the day after having completed the children in the middle class, yes, as the certification says from Healthy Families of Clallam County, yes, and my personal certification that I probably gave you a photocopy of when I put that in with the clerk of the court, yes, my suggestion to you today is that you remove all your fraud. Now, these sons are going to need to live with me. Yep. And I'm going to want that to happen today. Yes. And then I'm going to want the victim's rights. Yeah. The victim's resources. The victim's restitution. Yeah. And then your assets. Yes. The interest on those assets. And I'm going to use the courts. Now, various countries recognize some form of due process under what's known as customary international law. Although the specifics are often unclear, most nations agree that they should guarantee foreign visitors a basic minimum level of justice and fairness. Some nations have argued that they are bound to grant no more rights to aliens than they do to their own citizens. And the doctrine of national treatment, which also means that both rights to aliens, which also that both would be vulnerable to the same deprivations by the government. With the growth of international human rights law, and the frequent use of treaties to govern treatment of foreign nations abroad, the distinction in practice between these two perspectives may be disappearing. Now, I have emailed other nations, France, the French police. I have emailed other nations, China, the Chinese legislature. I've emailed other nations, European Union. Now, yesterday I was doing a little research. About my due process rights being violated. Yes. When wanting to communicate with other nations about their need. Yes. To obligate the enforcement of those rights. Now, I got some pictures that I put on my war crimes drive. Could you call the Federal Trade Commission for me? See, in the United States, the Federal Trade Commission has an obligation, to protect competition and consumer protection authorities worldwide. Yes. See, I'm the individual, that has some innovations, and I'm known as a private party. Yes. Now, I, as a private party, can bring a suit, to enforce the antitrust laws. In fact, most antitrust suits are brought by businesses and individuals. I'm an individual, seeking damages for the violation of the Sherman or Clayton Act. Now, private parties, known as myself, can also seek court orders preventing anti-competitive conduct. These court orders are known as injunctive relief. Now, I'm going to want to use the courts, in seeking injunctive relief, as I bring lawsuits under state antitrust laws, and then international antitrust laws. Individuals cannot sue under the FTC Act, but I think I can. Now, I was sure that I could.
Yes.
And I'm sure that the FTC is going to disagree with me.
Yes.
But I'm going to want to have a dialogue
Yes.
with the International Competition Network.
Yes.
Get me all the members of that.
Yes.
The Competition Committee of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Get me all the members of that. United Nations Conference of Trade and Development. Get me all the members of that. And the regional organizations such as the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, because I'm going to want it.